You ready to start?
Let's do this thing. We have a combo.
Hey, combo.
A Marziano.
Hey, Dan.
In jazz circles, I'm throwing it to you.
I have decided not to. I am saving this. This is going to be very special.
This is the new intro music to Church in Space. All right, Drew, it is your turn.
And it is.
Oh. All right, the Frost Shepherds have arrived.
Darn.
Here we are. All right.
Church in space.
All right, welcome back to Church in Space.
In 3D.
Hey, man, that was fast. That was like maybe too fast. Yeah, might be like time lag on that, due to time dilation or something like that.
Drew and I took proton pills.
Yeah, right. All right, welcome everybody. So we are returning to the settlement of New Augustana on Mars. We're playing A Quiet Year. This is our fourth session. There's 4 seasons in A Quiet Year. So we are on winter on Mars. Boy, fall was discontent. Like, we had a lot of,
yeah.
Fall was a rough season
Yes, it was. Not a single new suspension bridge built.
Yeah.
I was horribly disappointed.
Darn.
College football wasn't even existing.
Yeah.
There's no
I
hockey.
never thought about that. We need to get a sports thing going on in August. We'll have to keep that as a project.
Well, we have the problem with the oxygen.
We should fix that first. There are lots of problems we should fix first. The oxygen, it'd been a shortage for a while, but the oxygen finally gave out. And so the main dome had to be evacuated. People have been evacuated to various places. Some are sheltering in the constructed cathedral.
Lutherans are now officially a Martian diaspora.
Right, we are a Martian diaspora. Some had to flee to other communities, like the Catholic community on the hill that's there. So New Augustana is having a rough time at this point. They're coming all over. The Methodist dome still exists, but
they still live in tents.
Right, they're still living in tents, and it's getting kind of crowded in there because we've got some refugees in there.
We discovered oxygen, oxygen and water.
We did discover an underground oxygen and water vein, so maybe we can start to fix these problems. But boy, is it hard sailing. There's various mysteries that still remain. Where is various people that have gone missing over our time here?
And we still don't know who the Frost Shepherds are.
And we still don't know who the Frost Shepherds are. And the Frost Shepherds are coming. Winter is the last season. So for everybody listening at home, the game ends when you draw the King of Spades. I
really hope it's not the first card.
Right, you really hope it's not
short.
Right, it's going to be a very short episode. We really hope it's not. That would suck. And whatever the Frost Shepherds are, we would most certainly lose. Because we're not even in our home dome yet.
Yeah.
Also, we've got a health and fertility problem that was kind of...
don't we ever.
Well, yeah,
you're talking about the game.
Yes,
okay. Gotcha.
And that was related to the oxygen problems and, all that stuff.
Yes.
So we went from, summer and spring where we were on a high. We had won a pitched battle, and it looked like the settlement of New Augustana was thriving, and
the Methodists were subservient to us.
The Methodists were subservient to us, and now we're in the Lutheran diaspora, and can we return home?
Oh, and we booted out that megachurch.
Right, we did. Right, we had defeated the megachurch, passed her the edge.
The engineer was cast out once again.
The engineer was,
which some people think is good news, and others think is not so good.
So, Dan, why don't you start us off this week?
All right.
Well, let's return to New Augustana, shall we?
So, drawing the first card. Are you guys ready for the Frost Shepherds?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
I am. Thank you. I actually got the 5 of spades.
Okay.
Winter elements destroy a food source if this was your only food source at a scarcity. Or winter elements leave everyone cold, tired, and miserable. Project dice are not reduced this week. Well, because we are in a diasporic state, we might as well have the winter elements leaving everyone cold, tired, and miserable.
Already cold, tired.
Well,
exactly.
that's
sleeping on the pews there, you know.
But then we still have the oxygen part. Like, you could choose not to delay that. Then we can all have oxygen and come back together. All we had to do is add
The problem is our only food right now was rutabagas, and that's already been a scarcity because that was part of the health and fertility problem.
And they don't have an even scarcer category. So.
Right.
non-existent.
Non-existence. We owe the universe rutabagas.
no, rutabagas have been wiped out from the memory of everyone.
Not only right, yeah,
Only
not just wiped
on-
out, but like completely wiped from people's memories. They don't even
Yes.
know what it is anymore.
Yes.
I mean, that is tempting to do because it means the only edible substance they have left are the glowing Twinkies.
That's not edible, though. That kills the persons. Didn't we establish that someone died trying to taste
Yeah,
the
but we
Twinkie?
never did an autopsy, so it could have been a coincidence that he died after eating the glowing Twinkie.
Yeah, but he is permanently glowing.
Yes, yes.
But that was because he ate the Twinkie,
glowing
right?
Twinkie,
Right.
Yeah.
I would say the two are the death and the glowing are related to each other.
Even if the Twinkie didn't kill him,
Okay,
that means all Lutherans would be illuminated.
if a bird goes quack, what is it, Dan?
Your choice.
An
friend.
insane rooster.
Some truth to that. Okay, it's your choice, Dan. What are you?
I don't know. I'm kind of liking that second idea.
Not only do we have a scarcity, we just have no food whatsoever.
No food whatsoever
No
now.
food.
And so the only
Okay.
thing people can eat out of desperation are the glowing Twinkies.
Okay, man, starting off rough for us.
Well,
but it does mean we can advance on the project. So.
Okay,
also, wouldn't all the food not be growing because there's no oxygen?
Well, the food would need carbon dioxide, and there's plenty of that.
Okay.
Good on that front.
Okay.
As long as somebody saved rutabaga seeds so that we can...
you're right. They've been wiped from existence.
Because that also means no beer.
Right.
I mean, this could be a general Lutheran uprising. Talk
Right.
about them being miserable. All right. Take an action. Discover something new. Hold a discussion. Start a project. Well, I'm going to start the project
getting the.
getting that oxygen and water piped over to the colony.
This makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm. And a rare moment of me doing something that makes sense. But it's quite a distance, so it's going to take 6 weeks.
Pushing our luck.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, frost ship. No, I'm kidding.
Are we going to make this a thing?
We're going to
now?
do that every turn. Seven of spades. So what is winter like in this area? How do the community members react to the weather?
They freeze.
No, they're not all together. That's problem number one.
No. All together, no.
So, I mean, it's winter on Mars. So it's really cold. Our particular area is known to have dust storms in the middle of winter.
That's right. That's
So, so dust storms are a frequent problem,
Ooh, and making it even more of a frequent problem, right? If they have dust storms in the winter, the tar pits would be camouflaged by the dust being
Right.
on them.
And the tar things, like, they kind of clog up when they get too much dust.
Yeah.
And so...
So we don't have an effective fighting force now.
Right. Well, I
They're
mean, we
just
don't
one-
have a dust storm right now, but
Yeah.
if we get
Okay.
one, it's a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
And so...
Okay.
So we need to be careful about that.
Have we winterproofed the domes yet, or were we just creating them
We got to
in
get
summer?
oxygen to the door. first.
Well,
We gotta-
they were first built. How about that?
yeah,
breathe,
I
then
I
build.
assume they were built with they built this settlement knowing winter on Mars was a thing. So I assume they can survive the domes themselves. But
They have space heaters in the dome.
yeah.
How it was a thing.
All right. So that's my card, and then my thing is going to be. I've got so many problems.
We have
we
to
can
adjust the
advance.
dice. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the
yeah.
oxygen thing is working.
And you got to do the statue. It's a big statue, considering it was literally just the guy. We just left him out.
That guy we forgot.
Yes.
His desiccated body mounted forever.
Desiccated body is mounted forever in that spot. But the O2 production line is working again, right? That's what that project was? Or is
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was restoring it.
Yep. So we got our statue of our guy. So we're getting there.
That means we can shortly de-diasporize, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. So I'm going to take oxygen off our scarcity list, actually.
Okay.
Because we're getting close to it again. And the pipeline's being built so we have a backup system in place, which is a good idea.
Our national reserve.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What Pastor Fraser is in anticipation of people returning, planning the church potluck. And that's going to take 2 weeks because it's a congregational meeting, and constitutionally you need 2 weeks to notify people
They have to
for a
develop
congregational
recipes for
meeting.
blowing Twinkies.
Yeah, right. 2 weeks to steal whatever food you can from the location you are at and bring it here.
Well, without oxygen, the food would have been safe, right? Like if everyone fled the dome.
It would not have degraded. You're
Yeah.
correct.
I guess, right. Vacuum,
dried
it's
out a little
vacuum
bit?
sealed.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. I mean, right, there's probably enough for one final feast, and then we got problems. So, anyway, it's 2 weeks because for any congregational meeting, you got to have a 2-week notice according to the ELCA Constitution. So that's
So this is
I-
different
I-
than the
I-
ELCA column.
yeah.
we're a subset. We're primarily funded by the ELCA. Yes,
We're now the ELCM.
yes, the ELCA. Right,
Or the
or the
GELC.
ELCOM, because like the Evangelical Lutheran Church in Canada is the ELCIC, so it's the ELCOM.
So we should be the ELCIA
There we go. Sure,
in real life.
in real life, yeah, right. So, but I like ELCOM.
I like, ELCOM.
Yeah,
Now it
ELCOM.
sounds like a military.
Right, ELCOM. Right.
I thought Galactic Evangelical Lutheran Church would be a better Gelk. Got Gelk?
I think we've got to have we got to have a mission congregation on another planet to like be galactic, you know. All right.
Anyway, so it is my turn,
It is indeed.
It is your turn.
and winter is coming. It's not this week, though.
Yeah, that's good.
Someone goes missing.
Oh no.
They're alone in the winter elements.
Who knew?
So far, it sounds like Billy.
Someone's going to steal the statue of Billy? I'm not saying no, but...
Hey, we are scarce on food, and he's kind of natural jerky at this point.
Going to continue on reading, Dan. The community organizes constant search parties, and eventually the person is found. Project dice are not reduced this week. No one ever hears from that person again. I am very, very tempted.
He would be.
As the great pilgrimage is happening, as the people are flocking back to to the light of New Augustana, somebody goes missing. Who goes missing?
Is this our third missing person now that we have no idea what?
Yeah, we have a lot of
Yes.
those. It happens
I really,
surprisingly frequently.
Yes,
really want it to be the engineer.
but
He's already gone. We excommunicated him,
But he could have come... Well, he's going to come back with Niles, right?
but
and
he hasn't yet.
but he hasn't yet.
What's the pet's name?
Eddie.
Eddie, yeah,
right.
yeah.
Eddie the Eddies.
Yes, Eddie of the Eddies. Roz.
Roz goes missing.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
Okay.
that's a loss.
it is a loss. I mean, associate pastor, the one that was supposed to take care of Niles.
Pastor Roz. Yeah. goes
Yeah.
missing. Man, associate pastor. Community's in mourning. Wow.
And we only had like 60 people in the colony to begin with, something like that.
Yeah. Dropping like flies.
That's a pretty.
We got an infusion
Bad
from the
attrition
we got a few infusion from the Methodists,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah. All right,
Well, not to say that no one sees her again, just no one hears from her again.
that's true.
She could have lost her voice helping people. Then no one hears her. She becomes the Mars Sasquatch.
Mars Squatch.
You listen very carefully to the Martian atmosphere. You can hear her cry out. Okay. Lost colony of Roanoke, except Roanoke, we're Croatan, it's Roz. All right, Dan. Or no, you need
Like
to do
I'm
your
taking
action.
it- yeah.
Taking action.
Okay, because we haven't done it yet, we are going to genetically modify some barley. Actually, wheat. Wheat's better.
Wheat.
Wheat would be a better choice.
Okay.
So that we can actually grow it both inside and outside the dome. So
All right,
if
where's the wheat come from?
we already have some wheat in the greenhouse, but
That's not dead.
that's not dead.
Or we have seed. We're going to grow it from seed and start.
Yes,
It
we
was
have the
vacuum-
seeds. Yes, it was
vacuum
vacuum sealed.
And do we have a CRISPR unit? so we can do the
I would think
genetic manipulation?
I think it would be.
We already genetically mutated
Yeah,
the rutabagas
the-
to grow out on the
true,
Martian.
that's
So let's assume.
Well,
we've
and the
had a-
tree too. We tried
Right.
it with the
Yeah,
tree,
and the tree.
then the project got canceled because it was a dumb idea to put trees
Yeah.
that produce the oxygen.
But Dr. Banner manipulated the rutabagas genetically by using gamma rays. So
Dr.
kind
Banner
of-
was never established, so we are not putting backstory.
Dr. Erasmus Banner.
The most disliked person simply because his name is Erasmus.
Anyway, so picking up from the tree project, it's going to take about 2 more weeks to synthesize the chemicals, or not the chemicals, synthesize the seeds and start planting.
Okay. 2 weeks.
So in 2 weeks, we will have
Wheat.
outside the domes.
Wheat.
Amber waves of grain. Like it.
Okay.
Long live the
Your
queen.
turn, sir. It gets stressful, doesn't it?
Yes.
Face card. I was like, oh, no.
No.
Fortunately, it is the Jack. Ooh. An infected outsider arrives seeking amnesty. They have some much-needed resources with them. I can choose one of these. Welcome them into the community, remove a scarcity, but also introduce an infection, or bar them from entry. What scarcity could they have addressed, and how does its need become more dire this week? So what scarcities we have?
Yeah,
We
wait a
have
second.
no food, and we specifically have a scarcity of rutabagas and health and fertility.
Well, wasn't the health and fertility related to the lack of oxygen and the no food? That's
It
no
is,
new
but I'm
food
gonna
or no food at all?
No food at all. We really don't have any food at all, and we specifically don't have rutabagas. The health and fertility was related to the oxygen, but it didn't say go away when you solve the problem, so I'm gonna say it's still a related issue.
Okay, I'm going to go that we welcome him into the community because we're good Lutherans.
We welcome all.
We welcome all.
Yep.
Okay.
And the infection that's introduced,
Does it have to be a human infection?
it mutates us.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
It doubles our chest cavities and our lungs. So we can harvest oxygen, scarce as it is, from the Martian atmosphere unaided.
I feel like gills would have been a
no.
much better solution,
Yeah,
and I'm vetoing this.
Right. It was-
Like,
My action was not discussion.
I feel like that poses way.
it solves way too many problems.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to convince that
I was
one.
trying to be kind for once.
I know, but we're in winter.
Okay.
It's supposed to be harsh.
All right.
Proposition.
He introduces a disease called patella lambrusco. Your knees fall off.
But your legs are still there.
Yeah, your legs are still there, but you have no kneecap.
This makes all right. How virulent is this? Does everybody have this?
Like, how does it
That's-
just
I'm-
one section of bone just disintegrates? The rest of the bones are just
No,
fine
it actually falls off. You know, it's like so.
through the skin.
Yeah, the skin around it calcifies.
So the infection only is present when you're kneeling for prayer or something like that. Is that how
That's
it?
when it's most painful.
They also make braces for that, so I feel like that's not terrible. But I
So
kind of
everybody's legs just like straight lines now. I like this. We can go.
You go with patella lambrusco.
We have a scarcity of knees.
Okay. Drew is not liking
No.
this one. Yeah.
No, we'll go with this.
we could have done something like deafness in one ear or
One
blindness in.
finger falls off.
Yes, the right side of the right eye slightly points.
I just
more
kind of
to
like the
right
image
now.
of this whole like community walking around like.
I see that, but I'm also enchanted by the concept of Nelsen syndrome.
Yeah. Mush Nelson.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm reworking this.
Okay. It's your final rework.
This is my final reworking.
Okay.
But I like Mush Nelson syndrome.
Okay.
I think Drew modified that quite well.
Okay,
And
so
the symptoms are, you lose hearing in one ear and one digit falls off of your hand of your choice.
Okay.
or foot.
Or foot, that's true.
Yeah.
You just randomly lose a digit.
Okay.
It's the middle.
Okay.
Yeah, there can be all kinds of different
Yeah,
complications.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we've got Mush Nelson syndrome.
Mush Nelson syndrome, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Does everybody lose the same ear,
No,
or do they
no.
lose, or is it like
It's randomized.
it's randomized? So that's
It's a
really
little bit more of a
unfortunate.
genetic factor, I would think, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they haven't teased it out, but
Yeah.
there's some
No, it's really
something in your genetics determines exactly.
It's really unfortunate because I was thinking it was all the same ear, and then they could just be like, "Well, we took the speakers out on the left side of the sanctuary," you know.
No.
And it's really tough because, like, if everybody you can only hear the right ears on the right side of church and everybody on the left side of church,
now-
when pastor walks down the middle, nobody can hear it.
Yeah.
No
But-
processionals anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Pastor is
But that's the organization of the entire congregation. Now, people on the right side have to go to the left, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Now the fun side isn't the back right.
Which for Lutherans could be apostasy,
Yeah.
you know. And I think discover something new. Well, we did. We
Dice.
discovered a new syndrome.
got to do the dice.
And this was the potluck has been planned.
Yeah, this is the welcome back congregational meeting potluck.
Okay. So
So the congregation is back. I'll let Dan fill in the details. Congregation's back. They're having a potluck. What's going on, Dan? Tell us about. Paint a word picture for us.
Well,
The community is back because we have oxygen again.
yeah, but we have no food because we're still growing the wheat outside.
well, no, we have the old food.
The
That's
old
true,
food.
old food.
Old food.
And we have billy jerky.
You're really on this Billy Jerky thing, aren't you?
Well, if you study people in emergency situations,
Well, Pastor Fraser vetoed the idea.
Yes,
of Billy
that
Jerky.
was
billy
yes.
jerky. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
it was
so,
proposed, but that motion was defeated in the congregational meeting.
So we've got random old desiccated food and
whatever they managed to steal out of the various communities.
and glowing Twinkies.
glowing Twinkies.
What about the Jello from the Yetis?
I think what we're going on here is I think it's going to be a variation on stone soup, but because they're Lutherans, it's stone casserole.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. That it for your turn? Are you good?
Yeah,
I think food is overrated.
I just wanted to point out that the person in charge of the potluck stone casserole is Daphne.
Oh yes, absolutely. That explains the stone casserole. Yes.
Potluck Master, which is an official title in New August.
Okay, that's it.
All right. Queen.
We're getting
Man.
All right. You see a good omen. What is it? The good omen is that the wild rutabagas start popping up in their absence. Wild rutabagas.
Wild rutabagas, I love it.
Start growing everywhere around the laser for some reason. Nobody knows why. But wild rutabagas start appearing. We had grown them in these specified boxes.
Yeah.
But now they are appearing out in the wild. So everybody takes that as a very good omen.
I can see
Yeah.
that.
So, yeah. They're not quite like ready to harvest yet. So we haven't solved that problem quite yet.
No,
But you know,
there's hope on the horizon.
there's hope. Everybody takes it as a very good sign.
and hope does not disappoint.
It doesn't. Thank you, St. Paul. Okay. So the amber waves of grain on Mars are officially accomplished.
Hooray!
So we've got the, again, it's not quite ready to harvest, so we're not quite solving the food problem, but it's looking like New Augustana is starting to return semi back to normal. That after all the chaos of, there is hope that it can be back to normal.
Okay.
All right.
We're holding on to that hope.
At the annual meeting, my Start Something New is the cathedral needs a bell tower. 2 bell towers, to be specific.
2?
So, yes.
The interesting thing is because Mars has a primarily carbon dioxide atmosphere, the bell tower is going to sound really weird.
Yeah. Well, and they hope to never change that. It's going to be distinctive. And right. And
You're
so
actually looking right now, aren't you? Uh-oh.
And so it's going to take 6 weeks for that building project. It was authorized at the annual meeting that they just had. So there we go. All right, Drew, it is your turn. We have a 1 in 7 chance of getting the end.
And it is.
Oh, so close. All right, the Frost Shepherds have arrived.
Darn.
Here we are. All right. So, part of this game is what do you imagine the Frost Shepherds to be? And so I will start. I think in my headcanon, the Frost Shepherds were what was left of Jason rallied many of the loose stragglers on Mars that have been exiled from various communities, and they've begun barbarian Genghis Khan-like horde pillaging across the land, and they have come upon our community. So those are the Frost Shepherds. That was my headcanon.
I was imagining like a sports team, to be very honest with you.
The Vancouver Frost Shepherds.
Yes.
Now entering the arena.
But hold on.
It's like a rugby team on Mars.
Except for it was actually a bunch of senior citizens because they're all,
Senior citizen
gray-haired.
rugby.
So they're
Okay, yeah. It's all Tom
Frost
Brady's.
Shepherds.
Yeah, Tom Brady is still playing football.
Yes, he is absolutely.
Still playing football.
200 years from now.
200 years from now, really divorced, but still playing football.
That was my.
Okay, fair enough. Yep.
Mine was that they're a bunch of automatons
Oh, robots.
constructed by the engineer
Uh-huh.
as an act of vengeance.
As an act of vengeance upon the community. Okay.
They roam Mars, destroying colonies and using the resources thereof to build suspension bridges.
Why
They're
did they
like the
build this?
Borg that just builds suspension bridges.
That's what the Borg. That's why it turns everything silver when the Borg infect a planet.
Right. They just build
It's just pure suspension
suspension
bridges. Glad we're there. Drew gets one last contempt. Just to make it an even 10 for Drew.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Drew didn't have to say anything. It was just throw it on there.
Okay. All right. We end this on talking about the cohesiveness of our community, which we just we have Dan with 6 contempts, which I think mostly were related to the excommunication process.
Yeah. Yes.
Me with 5. I forget what mine were related to. I think it was mostly to the carving of the cave and the outdoor.
Wasn't
rutabaga
the stairway
project.
to
the
stairway? Yeah.
Yeah, the stairway and all that kind of stuff. And Drew, you win.
Well, I mean, it was for every turn that the engineer was
Exactly.
Augustana. It was what, like 3 or 4,
Yeah,
4
right.
4 or 5 weeks in there.
Pumping them out.
Yeah.
So the question is, do we think our community is cohesive enough to survive the oncoming of the Frost Shepherds?
Well, which Frost Shepherds are we talking
I don't
about?
know. Well, I kind of like the automaton turning the engineer into this one last villain.
I mean,
it makes
kind of
narrative sense. Like
it does.
It wraps up a lot of like
A lot of loose ends.
right. The engineer excommunicated.
The engineer and Jason.
And you
Yeah, they
think-
team
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
That's what
I
it
like
is.
that.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Okay, so the engineer and Jason have
Yeah.
teamed up, and a combination of automatons and random. I'm imagining like Mad Max style. like,
Yes.
buggies going around.
What about the Eddies?
We haven't figured out. Right, the Eddies were kind of an unraveled. There's got to be little things in a universe that aren't quite wrapped up. So
We may have to have a part 2 down the road.
right, part 2.
I feel like Bono would be an Eddie tamer.
Yeah.
Probably.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We never really found Bono either, right?
Yeah.
He was kind of missing. And so, there are little bits that we could return to New Augustana.
New Augustana, the next generation.
Right. The next generation. Can't resolve everything. Got to leave enough for the audience to write their own fan fiction.
That's true.
And then there was a meteor that hit the planet and they all died.
That we're prepared for. We've got the space laser.
We have 2 different.
we have 2 different
deflection
meteor repelling
systems, yeah.
systems. We are prepared for that problem.
We just weren't prepared for no food.
Yeah.
Or oxygen.
Or oxygen.
But meteors, we got them covered.
Let's be honest. We let that problem fester a little too long. I think we
Yeah.
let that fester
Yeah,
all
but-
of autumn.
Yes.
Before we were like, we should probably. I just have this image of everybody seeing the oxygen meter on the storage tank just like go down. We're like, we should take care of that tomorrow.
Nah, we'll put it off till next week.
Right, next week.
I'm still breathing.
Yeah, it's fine. Boy, is that really human.
And very Lutheran stubbornness, not wanting to address the actual issues.
I don't
But
need-
meteors, like,
Right. I don't need oxygen. Nobody can tell me to need oxygen.
I can't see it, so I don't need it.
Yeah. So do we survive the Frost Shepherds?
That's where we have to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we have to come back to New Augustana.
Yeah.
Tune in. All right. What did you think? This is
It was enjoyable to do. I don't know how enjoyable it is to hear. But
well,
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting in the final cut.
yeah.
yeah.
Like,
This has a map with our cute little drawings.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that we had so many projects done.
I've done this game several different ways, and sometimes they're very project orientated, and sometimes they're very discovery. You know, and it just kind of depends on the group.
But can you deal with tragedy if you're only discovering and not projecting?
Well, it's all about what you're discovering. You know, it's all about what you're discovering.
Gotcha.
You're discovering yourself.
Discovering doesn't mean you're discovering good things or helpful things.
That's true.
You know. Okay, so that's the community of New Augustana.
We got to get rid of an engineering aspect.
It was the engineer who gets this game. You'll hate someone next game.
You'll hate someone next to the motto of New Augustana.
Just get through again, Tab. Just
All right. Well, I hope everybody found an answer to the question that we've been wondering in this podcast for every episode. What would a Lutheran space colony actually look like?
And now we know
And
a
now we
mess.
know- a mess. It's a
that's to put it lightly.
beautiful, disastrous mess. If you're interested in playing the game is A Quiet Year, and you can search that, and it's a great game, and you can buy it and print off all the things you need, because you really only need the rule book and a piece of paper and some dice and cards and a pencil. So you can get it yourselves. I recommend it. It's one of my favorite games, actually. So follow our Twitter account, and you'll get every week an update on the map. Our Twitter account is Church in Space, with "in" as just an N. So Church in Space.
Church in space.
Church in space.
Yep.
Church
in Space. See you, folks. Bye.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah, Drew.
Do you have the required musical instrument?
Oh, gosh.
Indeed I do. Bongo Drew. Do you?
I do.
This community did survive via liturgical dance. So.
Shall we?
Absolutely.
We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
See you, folks.